Welcome to Channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl, your online YouTube visa consultant. Now in this video, we would like to take the discussion of a possible winning a lottery. Would that be able to enable you to migrate to Australia? And the answer is yes. Now, it's a very interesting topic that I have actually come across with a client who is luckily had this opportunity to actually win a lottery, which I have never had that kind of opportunity. Maybe you're the lucky one next. So anyway, let me take you into the depth of the visa policies, whereby it actually indicates the potential if a person who has won a lottery, a public lottery, could actually utilize that as a source of fund to actually fund yourself into an investment migration visas. Now, which visa are we talking about this? Now, obviously it's not going to be the independent skill migration visa, but it's more towards the business type of investment visas under the subclass of 188. So predominantly a lot of people have known about this visa is of the name acronym of SIV, Significant Investor Stream, which requires the applicant to actually inject at least 5 million Australian dollars into the authorized or accredited manager fund authorized by the Australian government. Now, generally, if you go to the web page from the immigration website, it does not really show and say directly where winning a lottery could actually enable you to actually migrate through this way. And so you can see I'm taking you to the actual web page here. It only says, at least 5 million has to be invested, and 500,000 has to be in small private companies, and 1.5 million into approved manager funds with emerging company listed in the stock exchange, and the balancing of 3 million to be a manager fund, blah blah blah. And they restrict you to directly invest into real estate, and there are more detailed combined investment fund available in the Australian guide. And that's it. So basically it doesn't have much left. All the other one is all pretty irrelevant for the investment part of view. Now, then we take you to the actual Legend.com, which is the immigration law library. It's a digital database where it enables the agents or lawyers to actually go in there to dig out all the historical and the current regulation and law. So when we go in here, we are actually looking at Regulation 5.19C, which is of the name Compliance Significant Investment. So that basically described all the detail of that $5 million, how that $5 million can be accrued and can be evidenced with the supporting documentation. So at the beginning we'll say, well, first of all, it must be lawful, obviously. So under the convention or international anti-money laundering law, all these funds has to be assessed by immigration and be notable as lawful fund, and it cannot be a security or collateral for a loan. So it cannot be a loan out of your bank or whatever it is, or somebody else. Okay, now obviously there's an instrument of a legislative instrument that will actually correlate to what we just discussed and see on the web page, where 500k, 1.5 million, and you get the remaining 3 million to be in a management fund, and blah blah blah. And now we come down to, and there's not much of detail in the actual regulations. It has to be owned personally, or coming from your partner and spouse, issue of shares, and there's also ways of establishing trust, possibly family trust. And if we read on, we go to Regulation 5.19D. It's basically a copy version. The copy version 1.19C. The only differences here is actually you clicking into this legislative instrument, whereby 5.19D, which is the PIV, Premium Investors Visa, it doesn't require you to dissect the fund into 3 sectors status, you can actually put it into management fund with directly to one specific project that if you wanted to invest it in. Okay, that's the differences here. Now, again, where does it say that the winning of public lottery can actually be used? Now, a very interesting topic. That's the reason I'm taking you right into the back end office of the immigration officer. Now, immigration officer predominantly they use a policy rather than using a regulations, because the policy is plain English that they can follow, like a checklist, and they are described in a more better way that people can actually understand. So the policy that we're looking at here is right in front of you, where let me just move over a little bit. Okay, now as you can see, I've highlighted that with 5.19c here with the topic of ownership and source of fund. Basically, that is exactly how the law that we have just read upon being actually translated into real English, so people can actually read it and understand. So again, it's pretty easy to understand. It start with, you know, fund cannot be illegal activity, cannot be getting from gambling. You have to own this fund, and historical evidence and dividends, or how you retain, how you earn, how you make those money, how this profit was eventually derived into your personal account, and the residency requirement, blah blah blah. Now the paragraph that I want to take you down is right here, and this is the key. Now this paragraph here basically describe and gave the answer of how this public lottery winning can actually enable you to migrate to Australia. Now let me read this out clearly for you. It says, in most circumstances, due to high incidence of money laundering associated in gambling activity, an applicant will be unable to demonstrate gambling gain will lawfully acquire. Gambling gains may include money obtained from casino games, odds betting on sports, or horse greyhound racing. Now obviously the first two sentences is basically saying if the fund or the money from you is actually gained or obtained or win or won from casino or a certain casino game, or gambling games, that cannot be used, because a lot of illegal activities could actually go through casinos to actually launder these kind of funds or money. However, now the last sentence is the key. Now pay attention to this. However, a public lottery wins are likely to be regarded as a legitimate source of fund for making compliant significant investment, as the outcome are relatively difficult to manipulate. So that's the key. So basically what it's saying is money from casino can be manipulated, especially if you know the owner of casino. You may manipulate the winning or losing and how you obtain those funds, right? But a public lottery, you cannot manipulate it, because, well, if you can, it's a public, it has to be a national lottery. Okay, a national lottery, everybody, millions of people is watching, a million people is buying those tickets and trying to get those numbers right. So you cannot literally manipulate it. So the money that you win from public lottery is regarded to be a legitimate source of fund and can be used for investing into SIV visa or PIV visa. That's a very interesting thing. So the reason I'm making this video is because I found this policy, which is a very detailed policy, interested to myself. Obviously, I came across with a client asking this question. Possibly they have won the lottery, but again, I'm not here to encourage you to get into lottery a lot, because as you can see, the ratio of winning in lottery is actually lower than getting a lightning strike on yourself. Anyhow, it's a very interesting topic I just wanted to share with you, and should you have more information or query, leave a comment right down below. And finally, should you consider to subscribe to my channel, so once we have more Australian visa insights, you will be the first one getting those information. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.